The mistakes that professionals can make in working with an Hispanic family or a Hispanic client. Um, well, they're varied. They are as varied as Hispanics are varied. And Hispanics are very varied ethnically, in education, in culture, in country of origin, even in language within Spanish and outside of Spanish. In my part of the country, we have a lot of Mexicans from the area of Oaxaca whose first language is Mixteco, which is an indigenous language. And so you see an Hispanic name and you hear they're from Mexico and you think it's going to be Spanish, and it turns out not Spanish. There are, of course, lots of different forms of Spanish, and I find that although I do reasonably well with Mexican Spanish, I have a harder time with Puerto Rican and Cuban Spanish. So there's variability in language, and assuming that everybody's the same in that regard isn't going to work.
Dad joined the service fresh out of high school, barely 18 years old, wanting to fulfill his parents' dreams. But he came back from the battlefield a different man. Physically, he had been injured. Mentally, he had been injured too. He would drink to tell stories about the war, about his nightmares, and about his fear of crowds and other things that reminded him of the war. When no one would listen, he would talk to himself or sometimes take out his violent anger on Mom. She was always nervous, nerviosa. She kept busy by cleaning, washing, cooking, but at the end of the day, she would cry. Abuela knew what was going on and would bring her tecitos, teas, to calm her nerves.
Tómate un tecito para los nervios. Have some tea to calm your nerves.
She told us to keep this in the family, our secret, nuestro secreto.
Es que es el papá de mis hijos y me tengo que aguantar. He's the father of my children and I have to stay with him.
My brothers dealt with it in different ways. One of them joined a gang, the other used drugs to escape. I dealt with it by writing stories. Once we took Dad to a curandero, a healer, to cure him from his susto, from his terror, and even brought the padre, our priest, to bless our home, para bendecir la casa. But none of it made a difference. Dad just wanted to be left alone and would spend entire days in his room. One day, he just didn't come out. I found him passed out on his bed. He had overdosed and almost died. This was a turning point for our family. As a result, he was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. This helped us understand that he wasn't crazy or missing a screw. He and the whole family had been affected emotionally by his experience. Now he takes medication, talks to a counselor, and we all talk to a family therapist about our issues. We all participate in the sessions because we want to support him. Now that our secret is out, we understand that there was no shame in my dad's illness. We're learning about his illness, how it affects us, and to communicate so we can start to heal.
We are healing.